Hello, am I audible? Audible? Okay, good. So, good morning, you all. Welcome to ICGE 2026 International Conclave on Green Economy. And on the behalf of my co-conference chairs, Abid, Ravi, and on the behalf of IIM Visakhapatnam, I welcome and I let's all welcome our chief guest, Shri B.C. Pradhanji, to grace his occasion. So, thank you so much, sir. So, though I'll introduce him formally before his keynote speech, but to welcome him formally, I request Professor Kaveri to welcome him with the bouquet of flower. And at the same time, in the sequence, I'll request Professor Amit Shankar, Dean Research, uh, to welcome him with shawl. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Professor Amit. So, it's kind of one more important thing in order to talk about like why we are here. It has always been important. So, I'll just take 2 to 3 minutes to talk about ideal, and I'll ask 2 minutes each of my co-conference chair their centers, and 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 uh, and then we'll go and ask the dignitaries to speak about it. So first, the around 2021, around 4 years back, this whole concept of interdisciplinary decision science and analytics lab came into existence, and that was very much at the time when we were actually traversing through the time of COVID-19. So, how essentially the computational science, machine learning, evolution can actually solve the typically the problem of healthcare and natural resources and others. So that's where the genesis on with the motivation and propulsion of Director Professor M. Chandrasekhar, we kind of established this Center of Excellence. Another thing which was actually, he motivated to go and talk about the global thing, where I was introduced to Professor Ravi Vatrapu. At the time, he was in Copenhagen Business School, and then he moved to TMU. One thing which is very important, like, many universities have stacked up MOUs, but collaboration actually they are organic. So without any MOU, we have organically, myself, Ravi, Abid. So now Ravi moved from CBS to TMU, and Abid is actually taking care of that center, and that's how things actually, going up on that. They'll just invite them for 2 minutes, and then I'll come back again. I'll talk about the conclave. So first, I'll invite Ravi. Just talk about 2 minutes of it.
Yeah, welcome, everyone. Our Center for Digital Enterprise Analytics and Leadership, we focus on problems that are at the intersection of computer science and management. One of the goals for organizing this first conclave, and it will be an annual affair. We'll have more to say about that in the closing ceremony, is for a tighter integration of business schools with the greater metropolitan area. Into business, into policy, and into administration. That's something that we hope to achieve. That's been our success at Copenhagen, which Abid will talk about. Welcome, and I highly recommend that you attend the Carnatic concert in the evening. So there is music, and then there is Carnatic music, right? Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here, so many of you. I'm Abid, and I will introduce myself first as a PhD student of Ravi Vatrapu. Currently, I'm basically heading Center for Business Data Analytics, and I'm also basically a study director for MSc in Data Science in Copenhagen Business School. Our main research is actually on the intersection of data science and right now sustainability. We are working a lot with the companies, bringing together education and the industrial work. We are training our students all over the world to work for the best of society, right? So if we talk about this particular conclave, thank you to Shiv and Ravi for bringing all three centers together. And I'm looking forward to talking with you a lot in the coming hours. Thank you.
Thanks, Ravi and Abid. Now, I'll just briefly talk about the program, just very briefly, so that we know you can get an idea like what we are doing in 1.5 or 2 days. So it's a kind of not only plenary sessions or the paper presentation, but we are also trying to bring thought leaders from various fields, from academia, from industry also. So we are going to have two panel discussions, which is comprises of the people from academia and also from the industry to talk about one on the infrastructure and one from the public policy point of view. Then we are going to have one industry showcase also that is in the late in this afternoon. And then we have three plenary sessions where the scholars can also talk about this challenging time and the problem that essentially they should see from the scholar's lens and point of view. So the detailed session plan and everything is already scheduled with you, but this is what the glimpse or you can say that. Along with that, before we go forward, just to set the tone, why this particular conclave is important, because we are the cusp of two important things. One is the cusp of the fossil fuels. It is changing the direction which you should use less by any reason. Maybe it is because of the global warming or maybe because of the geopolitical tension. And another cusp that is there on the technology front that we are seeing that the curve on the exponential curve related to the AI, so which has a lot of ramification from the energy, from the application, everything. And that's what this conclave essentially set at that tone where probably our chief guest will talk about on the keynote speech. And with this, I invite Professor Kaveri Krishnan, who is the Dean Administration and also a Professor of Finance to deliver his speech on the behalf of the Institute and the behalf of the Director. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Professor Shiv. Good morning, everyone. And I welcomed our chief guest and all the participants once again to this ICGE 2026. On behalf of Indian Institute of Management, I welcome all of you to this conclave. And our director, Professor M. Chandrasekhar, is currently traveling, so is unable to take part in this conference. So I take this opportunity to give you a brief about IIM Visakhapatnam, what we do here. Okay, yeah. So you all would know about IIM Visakhapatnam. We have established in 2015 and as an institution of national importance. And this year we have basically celebrating our 10 years of excellence. Apart from the flagship program, 2-year MBA program and the regular PhD program, we also offer many programs in hybrid mode, a specially curated diploma plus MBA program for the students and alumni of NITs and centrally funded technical institutions, a 2-year executive MBA for working professionals, a modular MBA program for the defense sector, and executive PhD program for experienced professionals. And we also offer many certificate and postgraduate certificate programs varying from 4-month to 1-year duration in a variety of business management concentration. And over the years, institutes had built strong engagement with industry, government, and academic partners while expanding its research contributions across management disciplines. Research and teaching at IIM Visakhapatnam reflect contemporary challenges such as sustainability, responsible business practice, public policy, digital transformation, financial markets, and governance. Through conference, executive education programs, research initiatives, and collaboration, the Institute continues to seek evidence-based decision-making and societal impact. The Institute also has one of the fastest growing incubators in the country, IIMV Field, Foundation for Incubation entrepreneurial learning and development. Committed to nurturing and promoting startup, its entrepreneurship development initiatives are receiving wide recognition and funding from the Ministries of Government of India as well as reputed public and private sector organizations. The institute also has Adult Incubation Center granted by the Niti Aayog Government of India. In 2026, we also have established the Center of Excellence in Entrepreneurial Skills and Policy with MEPSC support. The institute in a year caters to the knowledge needs of around more than 5,000 learners through its on-campus, online and hybrid mode offerings. It's a recognized industrial research organization by the Department of Scientific and Industrial Research, Government of India. The Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment has endowed the institute the prestigious Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Chair Professorship. We are also a signatory to the PRME, Principles for Responsible Management Education, an initiative of the United Nations. We are also a member of the UN Sustainable Development Solution Network. The 240-acre digitally enabled scenic and serene campus, which you would have witnessed, is equipped with solar energy and captive water treatment plants. So, as we know, the quote from Mahatma Gandhi, the earth provides enough to satisfy every man's needs, but not every man's greed. So, though spoken decades ago, these words remain relevant as countries seek to balance economic growth with environmental sustainability. The transition to a green economy is no longer only an environmental objective, it is increasingly becoming a strategic necessity. And therefore, the theme of this conclave is very timely. Green finance, carbon markets are emerging as important mechanism for mobilizing capital towards sustainable investments. Advances in artificial intelligence, remote sensing, blockchain, digital platforms are creating new platforms for measuring, monitoring, and managing environmental outcomes. So effective institutions, sound policy design, and responsible management practices remain equally important. As a management institution, IIM Visakhapatnam recognize the importance of developing leaders who can navigate these challenges. So a particular quote that is relevant to today's discussion from Peter Drucker, what gets measured gets managed. As climate-related risk and opportunities become more significant, the ability to measure environmental impact, carbon emission, sustainability outcomes, and climate risk accurately will play an important role in shaping policy and business decision. I'm sure many of the discussion during this two-day conclave will precisely address these issues, and I hope the deliberations over the course of the event will contribute to a deeper understanding of the opportunities and challenges associated with green transition. I thank all the speakers, delegates, partner institutions, sponsors, and members of the organizing committee for their contribution in making this event possible. With these words, I extend my best wishes for a productive and meaningful conclave. Thank you and wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Professor Kaveri. Now for your address, now I invite Professor Amit, Dean Research, and he is also a chair PhD who is essentially responsible for the ecosystem that is, you know, continuing fostering the research.
I was seeing watch when I'm coming here. I am already 3 minutes late. So I'll try my speech to keep very crisp and short. When I was coming today, I was listening to Prime Minister some days, and we got an advisory also that you should reduce some of the expenses. I thought today I will go from buy scooty rather than car. I came outside, took my scooty out. Temperature was close to 40. I don't know. I did not able to measure it, but it was too hot. I thought, chalo, I will take the risk. I'll go by a scooty. Then I thought I'll go by a scooty. Again, I have to sit in my office with it 18-degree AC. So I can get away from this, the temperature which I got, and the fuel which I will be able to save, that I have to spend here in the AC. And then I took the decision that I'll come from car. This is the dilemma that you need to discuss in this conclave. Because the behavior related to green economy is not linear. It's very non-linear. In one of the research, I was talking to the big firm that how you are seeing AI adoption. You believe or not, no one was talking about sustainability. No one was talking about climate. Everyone was talking about data privacy. So I talked to CTO. They say the challenges related to technology, data privacy. Talk to CHRO. They are talking about how we will manage the people. They are very skeptic about the technological transformation. Talk about finance. They always see profit. Should I adopt AI or not? We go for agentic AI or not? I talk to CMO. They are very much worried how customer will react on it. CEO is very much in challenge that how to manage all these C-suite people. But surprisingly, no one is talking about climate change. No one is talking about environment. We all know there are three pillars of sustainability: profit, planet, and people. Everyone is talking about profit. Very few organizations are talking about planet and people. My request, this is a platform. I must thank Professor Rabi, Professor Abid, Professor Sib to arrange a platform. There we are discussing about planet and people. So my humble request to everyone, we are coming here, we are giving a platform to you to discuss these concerns which are related to planet and people. Definitely profit will always in the core, because if you're not the profit, you can't think of. Government also say that if you don't have some of the earning, you can't do CSR. Means this is not mandatory for the organization if you are not having some of the profit. Profit is mandatory, but same time think how we can be sustainable, how we can give some of the resources to our next generation, and how we can be still relevant in the age of technology with the help of this. So thank you everyone, and once again welcome you all to IIM Visakhapatnam. Thank you.
So, uh, before we go to the, thank you so much, Professor Amit. You have a very different, unique way of questioning the existence, actually. So, thank you so much. But before we go for a keynote speech, so there are two more things. One is the detailed introduction of our keynote speaker and chief guest. So I'll first read that, and then his speech and his presence is going to be the genuine invocation of this whole or starting of this. So before he'll come, I will also invite all of us to lighting the lamp. So first I'll go through your profile, sir, and then we'll light the lamp, and then we'll be also enlightened with your speech as well. So, Mr. Baisnab Charan Pradhan ji is the High Commissioner of India to the Republic Sierra Leone. He is there in Freetown, and he is a career diplomat in the Ministry of External Affairs and Indian missions abroad. Now, Mr. Pradhan graduated with honors in physics from Utkal University in '86. He joined India's Ministry of External Affairs in 1991 and has since held diverse diplomatic assignments in Tajikistan, France, Kyrgyzstan, United Kingdom, Nepal, Brazil, Sierra Leone, and many, foreign places. And then finally, he was having assignment before coming. He was in Freetown. He has gathered valuable experiences in executing India's development partnership projects in Nepal in the areas of constructions of railways, highways, educational institutions, cross-border power transmission lines, oil pipelines, integrated checkpost. As a High Commissioner to Sierra Leone, Mr. Pradhan was actively worked towards strengthening India-Sierra Leone relations in the areas of trade, education, healthcare, technology, renewable energy, parliamentary cooperation, and disaster management with capacity building. He also plays an important role promoting India's development partnership initiative in the Sierra Leone, including scholarships, technical cooperation, digital development, healthcare collaboration, and institutional capacity building programs. His diplomatic engagement with the Parliament of Sierra Leone, United Nations agencies, and government ministries reflect India's commitment to deepening bilateral cooperation and South-South partnership with Sierra Leone. He's proficient in Odia, English, and Hindi, and he also possesses a language of Russian, French, and Bengali. And today he has joined with his better off Madam Pradhan and his son as well. So, sir, first I invite you along with the dignitaries to just light the lamp, and then you will be here for keynote.
green economy. Respected co-chairs, Professor Ravi, Professor Sif, Professor Avik, respected Dean Administration of IIM Visakhapatnam, Professor Kaveri Krishnan, respected Dean Research, Professor Amit Shankar, distinguished speakers, professors from various universities, distinguished panel speakers, and dear students. First of all, I am grateful for these opportunities. It is indeed a privilege and honor to address this distinguished gathering at the first international conclave on green economy organized by the Indian Institute of Management. At the outset, I would congratulate the organizers for bringing together the leading minds from academia, the government, business, and technologies to discuss, to deliver one of the defining challenges and opportunities of the 21st century right here today. Ladies and gentlemen, the world today stands at a very critical turning point, as Professor C pointed out. We are facing the geopolitical challenges, and India as the forefront of the challenges what we are facing at the West Asia, particularly the Hormuz blockade, where more than 20% of our fossil fuel come from, particularly the oil and gas. I came from Africa last week, and from the tiny country Sierra Leone. The last 1.5 months, the fuel price has gone up by 35%. It's one of the poorest countries in the world, and it is also the same across many developing world. So this dependence, excessive dependence in the fossil fuel, create a lot of challenges across the world and geopolitical tensions. The big countries are trying to exploit this the dependence and blocking this the energy flow channels. At the same time, the fossil fuel, the excessive dependence of fossil fuel has created environmental challenges we are facing today. Again, India at the forefront of this the bond of the challenges. From the last 10-20 years, we have excessive the flash floods and intense heat waves. In terms of the storms, cyclone storms and the heat wave, probably Andhra, Odisha are experiencing more frequent, more intense heat waves and floods. And that has led to the more than $200 billion of loss of the economic damages and loss of jobs over the last 2 decades. And the estimate says that if in the business usual conditions, India alone would face multiple $1 trillion of loss in the next 25 years. This heat wave and the cyclone flood would be more intense, more frequent, and again beyond the realm of handling those situations. If particularly if we not able to limit that the global temperature rise of 2 degree centigrade of the pre-industrial level within the times limit set by the world bodies. In the next few slides, I'll be talking about what the world is doing at a global level. The major polluters or the advanced countries, what they're doing, what India is committed to do, what is India's the policy frameworks, what India has achieved, what are the India challenges, and what we should be doing in the future. And now, friends. Sorry, did I get the next? Yeah. So, as I said, the climate change today is no longer a distant environmental issue. It is a reality we are facing today, the economic reality, the development challenges, and increasingly a geopolitical issue. Heat waves, floods, droughts, rising sea levels, biodiversity loss, and disruption in global supply chains are affecting economies and societies across the world. The scientific assessment warned that the future prognosis could be far more severe if concrete global action is not taken urgently and without substantial reduction in greenhouse gas emissions and stronger adaptation measures. Global temperatures could see well beyond 22 degrees centigrade above pre-industrial levels during this century, and this may lead to more frequent and intense disasters and irreparable losses to the world. Yeah, coming to the next point, what the world is doing at a global level. Way back in 1992, the global bodies, the world leaders created a framework called United Nations uh, uh, Framework for Convention on Climate Change, uh, which has provided the principal global framework for international cooperation on climate change. Under this UNFCCC, the Conference of Parties deliberate, functions under this framework, which has already met 30 times. I'll just briefly tell you what the Conference of Parties achieved, the major milestones. In 1997, we agreed on a Kyoto Protocol where the advanced countries agreed to a legally binding emission target. Some of those have been achieved, particularly Europe has gone a long way achieving those targets, and many are on the way to achieving those emission targets. You might be knowing of the Paris agreement happened in COP 21, Conference of Parties 2021, when almost all countries, 200 plus countries, agreed to take necessary climate actions to limit the climate, the temperature change within 2 degrees centigrade, and the long-term objective would be limited to 1.5 degrees centigrade of the pre-industrial level. So this conference, and in the last COP, which happened in Belém, in Brazil, the countries have created a kind of mechanism for a transparent mechanism for achieving those the targets. We are still longer to go, and these successive COP processes have also advanced climate finance, adaptation measures, technology transfer, and transparency mechanism. Particularly the developed countries placed climate finance support for developing nations, while initiatives on renewable energy, carbon markets, loss and damage, and climate resilience have gained momentum. At Belém, these countries have agreed to increase the funding for the climate action to $1.5 trillion per annum by 2035. So that is a huge commitment by the global bodies to create that momentum in the increase in funding to finance the climate actions and sustainable development goals. So coming to the countries, the major advanced countries, we see the European Union as a bloc has done a commendable job with a commitment to achieve the carbon neutrality by 2050. This is achievable, it seems, because they have created a very good carbon pricing through emission trading system. They are promoting green finance and also adopted a strong, stringent emission, control regulation mechanism. Particularly, they have been rapidly phasing out coal. So any coal-based, power on any coal-based industry will be out of, the scene in Europe very soon. And then the United States has adopted the infamous Inflation Reduction Act, which basically accelerating investment in clean energy and technologies and incentives for the technology innovations in the clean energy area, and also they are promoting advanced climate tech innovations, AI-driven energy systems, and also venture capital ecosystems to promote clean energy in the USA. China is the world's largest polluter. At the moment, the estimate says that the current emission is about 37 billion tons. It's called gigatons of greenhouse emissions. And out of 37, China accounts for 13 gigaton of emissions. But what they have done, there's a massive scale of solar photovoltaic. At present, they produce about 85% of the solar equipment manufacturing, and also they're leading in the clean battery, storage battery manufacturing. In electrical vehicles, they are also the leaders. And also they have amassed critical minerals and minerals processing. So they have done this for decades. Now we are thinking, but this is also a vulnerability for us. But China has taken advantage of they have mapped what we might not have heard of such elements, but China has, amassed those critical minerals decades ahead. We are now doing a research work for this, the critical minerals meant for these advanced technologies and clean technologies now. Japan has adopted a green growth strategies, and their aim is to achieve this carbon neutrality by 2050, and their focus is in hydrogen technology, particularly the electrolyzers, reducing the cost of the production of hydrogen, energy efficiency in the industry, and the next generation batteries, and also massive investment in clean energy, particularly solar, wind, and other biofuel technologies, energy. Korea has this also equivalent Korean green growth, Korean Green New Deal, and again they are focused on hydrogen economy and fuel cell technologies and advanced industrial decarbonizations. So that's what the world is doing. We are at the third polluter at 3.5 gigaton of emissions, account about 9.5%. Behind USA second, as they produce about 5 gigaton. But the USA's emission intensity of GDP is much lower than the China and India. The EU is doing far better with a big economy, with only 3.3 gigatons of emissions. Before coming what India is doing, I'll just tell you what is our framework. I would request you if you could update when the 2025 limits, because so that I would restrict my address to that time limit. This is the India's policy framework. The policy objective is to address the poverty alleviation and also provide cheap energy access. At the global level, we have been leading the global south, particularly pushing for the climate justice principle called common but differentiated, responsibilities and aspect as per the respective capabilities of the country. We lead that, climate, debate, and that where the Paris Agreement, we made a mark on that. Also, our long-term goal for to all our development goals would to align with the sustainable development goals. As far as the institutional framework concerned, the Niti Aayog, which replaced the Planning Commission, they provide the policy framework. In the last few years, they have introduced the PLI, productive linked incentives for the key areas where this clean technology and green technology is important. A lot of finance is coming to now because of this policy, and also they have introduced the sovereign green bonds for the promoting the clean technology and investment in those areas. Also introduced the renewable purchase obligations for industries. At a ministerial level, we have this Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, primarily the nodal ministry responsible for our climate obligation and any and also a sustainable development goals. The other line ministries are equally responsible: our Ministry of Power, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Urban Development, and Ministry of Transport also is responsible in this, our effort for climate change and clean technologies. We have 3 tier of governance and 3 tier of approach to this, model. At national level, we adopted a National Action Plan for Climate Change in 2008, which has basically directed our, respective, policies now we are going through. Also, we have a state action plan for climate change, which also, by less our third tier is weak one at local level, but at central and state level, these are taken care of. But looking forward, we should be more focusing at the tier 3, where the other advanced countries actually empowered and with technology, with finance, to actually implement this, all kind of not only technology, all kind of governance model, growth model at a village level, at a council level. I find a lot of weakness in this, in the 3-tier system of, so despite more than 3 decades of, we introduced Panchayat Raj institutions. There is under this framework, we have FLAX missions called the National Solar Missions, National Mission for Sustaining Himalayan Ecosystem, National Mission for Enhanced Energy Efficiency, National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture, National Mission for Sustainable Habitat, and Green India Mission, National Water Missions. So these are the FLAX missions where the government is adapting to advance its clean energy or green economy goals. Switching to the next one, these are the our commitment at the global level, particularly the United Nations framework of climate change. We have committed a 47% reduction in our emission intensity per GDP. I think we are doing well on that. A lot of things have done. The second is, which is watched globally and monitored globally, is 60% electricity capacity from non-fossil fuel sources by 2035. On this objective, we are far ahead of the goal. In fact, we are supposed to, earlier we had committed 50% of our non-fossil fuel energy coming by 2035. We increased to 60%. Now this 60% would be achievable probably to be much before 2030. Why I'm saying that? today in 2026, we have already achieved 52% of the energy, particularly electricity coming out of non-fossil fuel, and that should be proud of. And that's why I see the campus is have a very good sustainable energy coming out of energy, I've said the solar energy. Also, we want to create 3.5 billion tons of carbon sink. If at this level we are producing around 3.5 gigaton of carbon dioxide equivalent, if we create that kind of sink, then it would be carbon neutral. But the study says that our peak, we have not announced our peaking level. Probably it will be peak somewhere 2030, 2035. By the time we would reach some 7.5 gigatons of emissions, and by that time would have created more intense, or more damages, So we need to do much more, in achieving, in phasing out our particularly the coal-based energy. Still, about 48% is energy coming out of thermal power, coal-based power plants. That need to be phased out, much more, and to be much accelerated. And then at the Glasgow COP26, we committed a net zero target by 2070. That was not very much applauded by the global bodies. They wanted us to stick to that 2050 goal by all the countries. But seeing, we had to take our balance, our like poverty alleviation and our developmental goals, since we are a very nascent stage of development. We did not force us to commit that 2050, which may not be, possible. But at this stage, the way the technology advancing probably could achieve this, net carbon neutrality 2070. As we did this non-fossil fuel, we had committed 50% non-fossil fuels energy by 2035. Now we are doing 10 years probably, or 7, 8 years ahead of that. And probably it is possible to achieve carbon neutrality by 2070. But before doing that, and while you're doing that, we'll be saving about more than $200 billion through the importation of fossil fuel. At the moment, we are importing about $150 billion of crude oil, and another 25 billion dollar of gas, and the coal as well. While we'll be doing this, achieving carbon neutrality, we'll be actually gaining energy independence, and that's a goal by 2047. But now, because of the Hormuz crisis, now this, the energy insecurity are going through, we have to accelerate and achieve this energy independence much before that. Then we have targeted at 2047. Here are the what exactly we have achieved so far. In the last 12 years, I am talking of the after coming of this government, 2014, the total installed electric power has increased from 249 gigawatt to 533 gigawatt, more than doubled. But what is enlightening is that the renewable energy component, which was 35 gigawatt, which is only 14% of the total fuel, matrix, now it is increased to 52%. What we are talking about. And out of this, the solar power, which has increased within the 12 years, 53 times solar power generated electric installation, from mere 2.82 gigawatt in 2014 to 150 gigawatt by 2025. This is a remarkable achievement, and we must celebrate this. And now wind energy also almost doubled in the last 12 years to 56 gigawatt. Now we are fourth in the global ranking. In hydro, we have not done much, but it is still 51 gigawatt and doing more in that. Bioenergy, we are also the production is accelerating. One important thing, breakthrough we have achieved is our fast breeder reactors. And we have huge resources of monazite and thorium reserves. which would, in the long term, not now, maybe 2050 onwards, in the second half of the century, most of the energy, new energy, would be coming out of our thorium and the fast breeder reactor, and that would give a long-term sustainable clean energy in the future. So that's the we are one of the few countries, I think, in the world, I think, after Russia, and we have achieved this, it's remarkable, thanks to our scientists, our institutions who have, had this vision, and we will be using that sand, billions of sands at Kerala beach and Odisha beach, and maybe in Andhra beach. We'll be utilizing those sands and creating clean energy for the, second half of this century. Another thing is that apart from this 533, another 169 gigawatt of renewable energy projects are already under implementation, and 65 gigawatt already tendered. That constitute about 235 gigawatt. So our commitment for 500 gigawatt by 2030 probably would achieve in the next 2-3 years if those projects which have been tendered, which are under implementation, are completed. Here are the India's flagship green initiatives. The Ujala scheme is all you are aware. All the 1.4 billion people. We have created near from 62% of clean cooking gas to near universalization of the cooking gas. That's again a remarkable achievement, and we achieved in a very, very short time, which is promoting our green growth as well, eliminating the wood-based or charcoal-based chulas. The other thing is about this is the most critical one in the current, currently for the technology, for our policymakers, the National Green Hydrogen Mission. Green hydrogen is very, very critical, because now we know that we, in the last 12 years, increased our solar power to 52 times, and we can scale up much, much higher the way we are implementing. Last year, we added some 13 gigawatt of solar power. So we could accelerate, but the problem is that the sun doesn't shine in the night. So what will do the excess, the energy, how to store? So here comes the hydrogen, which should be through electrolyzer, and we have many technologies in for electrolyzer, but that is very, very expensive. All the global institutions and the advanced countries doing a lot of research, and where our job is it's more important here, discussion here. We have to create a very cheap and massive scale of hydrogen production coming out of green hydrogen. Green hydrogen means coming out of the solar or wind energy, which could store it and which could utilize at night. And then we have to electrify the economy, whether it's a transport system or whether our industries, particularly coal-based industries like steel, cement, and other coal-consuming industries. Those could be run by hydrogen. So we have to electrify our economy. We have to electrify our scale up our the clean and cheaper hydrogen to create that breeze. And since we have mastered the solar energy, now I think we are quite confident that we'll be able to produce the solar equipment probably comparable to the China, which is a global leader. I am confident the way we are going will be, and the incentives provided the government, we could achieve that in a scale and the competitive price and quality in the future. Yes, the green hydrogen very, very important for research institution, for management, for the government policymakers, for our clean energy objectives. The other is biofuel, expansions. So I don't know how many of you using your car with 18% ethanol. I served in Brazil, which almost their cars are technology run in 100% ethanol. 100% ethanol, which is coming out mostly from molar, the sugar. The cellulose based, the ethanol is little cost, it's expensive. It will catch up in the future. But 100% your vehicle running through 100% clean energy is possible, and it will come from your your stubbles, your broken rice, or the corns, etc. And it is because of India's collaboration with Brazil and other countries like USA. We have been able to advance our ethanol blending. So we had a target of achieving it 20% by 2030 or something. Probably now we have already achieved 18.5%. There is an article, I think Professor Rabi would share that, that we're aiming at E85. That means ethanol blending at 85. The technology is there. Brazil has done decades ahead of us, but it is small changes in your fuel, fuel technology, the carburetor, something small changes. It is not a very big technology, but the challenge is to produce massive amount of billions of liters of, ethanol, because that is a, you will be using a lot of food to converting fuel. You're converting your broken rice, your, the corn, etc. So that is a balance. But if you could master, that is a technology challenge, the cellulose, the pareli, the plant stubbles, and lot of biomass to ethanol. There are a lot of technologies available in the market to convert biomass to ethanol, but these are very, very expensive. The machines are very expensive. The process is expensive. So that is prohibiting implementers at a larger scale. But in future, you need to more research on the subject to convert the cellulose or biomass available plentifully in the particularly your agriculture economy. We produce millions, hundreds of millions of biomass, and could utilize to for this clean energy from biofuel. And in that respect, I'll come down to the next slides. Yes. It is about two things we are talking of: International Solar Alliance, Global Biofuel Alliance. In these two things, we have taken leadership. We, along with the Paris, when this COP15 at the Paris, 2015 COP was happening. We co-founded with the Paris and 121 countries the International Solar Alliance. So already how many, more than 11 years done, and within this period, the member countries, and particularly India, has scaled up their solar energy from 65 gigawatt to close to 200 gigawatt now within a very short span of time. And we have created talent pools for the member countries in solar technologies. They are thinking, and also we have created a funding mechanism, created fund for funding any country, those member countries or out of member, for advancing the solar energy goals. But one thing what India announced about one sun, one grid, because the sun is not setting, sun is, or the earth is rotating, and the sunshine is available to earth throughout the 24 hours, 7 years. So what our objective, or what I announced, our long-term objective, if you could create a global grid, one sun, one grid, then could tap the sunlight throughout the year. For example, I'll come to this Africa thing. Africa is close to 5 hours behind it, and still we can, if we connect a grid to Africa and the Middle East, still till late evening and midnight, we should still be getting a lot of energy from those countries if we have interconnected grids. So that's the future thinking. And this Global Biofuel Alliance, we set up this alliance in partnership with USA and the Brazil, Brazil is the leader and US is also equally leader, both in technology and deployment of biofuel. We created the Global Biofuel Alliance in 2023, well on the margin of G20. Now at that time 19 countries joined, 12 countries. Now the membership has increased to 24 countries. So they are sharing technologies, best practices, and also creating fund how to advance this biofuel best energy. And we are quite good at we have been already achieved 18.5 5%, which much ahead of at least 4 years ahead of that our initial target. Next is what were our cooperating with our countries across the particularly the advanced countries, how we are advancing our partnership with major countries. With USA, we have a strategic framework called strategic clean energy program partnership. And under this partnership, we collaborate on clean energy innovation in solar, wind, and hydrogen, and energy efficiency, and particularly grid modernization, carbon capture, storage, and utilization, and clean energy finance and scaling the investment. We have also another important partners with the USA called Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technologies, which is now evolved into a broader trust framework. And our cooperations with the USA under this umbrella expands to AI-enabled energy system and smart grids, semiconductor supply chains for clean tech hardware, advanced manufacturing for renewable energy components, and climate-aligned digital infrastructure. We have also created a 4-country partnership, U2, I2, U for USA, another U for UAE, I2 is India and Israel. The 4 countries have created this U2, I2 initiative. Basically, create the all finance to for clean energy initiative, mobilizing private capital for clean energy projects in India, supporting scalable investment models for renewable energy, de-risking green infrastructure through blended finance, and strengthening public-private partnership in climate projects. Though we had a very high-sounding objectives, I don't know, we haven't gone much far because of this, geopolitical tension since we created the institutions. So the future, it will depend upon how we do in the future. With USA, the Pak Silica initiative was in debate. India was out in. Now India is included in this Pak Silica, initiative of the USA. Particularly, the cooperations expands to critical minerals, particularly lithium and rare earths, semiconductor ecosystem for clean energy technologies, and secure supply chains for AI and energy system and low carbon advanced manufacturing. This is a broader, the US is leading that Pak Silica initiative. Now India is in for the moment. I don't know what will happen in future. We talked of European Union. We have a partnership framework called EU-India Clean Energy and Climate Partnership. And of our focus with Europe is offshore wind. If you're anybody, I think we have a professor from Sweden. So I think we have a very good partnership with Copenhagen and Netherlands also, particularly in wind energy. That is has been 20 years of or more than 25 years partnership. Now we are focusing to expand our offshore wind through this partnership and solar expansion, grid integration, green hydrogen and industrial decarbonization, carbon markets and sustainable finance alignment, and at all. With France, as you said, that we have both created this international solar alliance. So our major cooperation with France about our solar energy deployment in developing countries, and also nuclear energy cooperation. Many of you have heard that France produce 20% of 75% of energy from the nuclear energy. Okay, we have also similar cooperation in the United Kingdom, Germany, Japan, and Australia. I won't go into the details. I talked about International Solar Alliance and global financial. Yeah, coming to this, the challenges. These are the I told about achievements and the partnership. The challenges are well known. So we have already touched upon this, the energy storage limitations, grid integration complexity, all the transmission bottleneck, all. These are the strategic need we need to address these things. And this is the broad roadmap in our technology roadmap. What is interesting to note that India has just announced I think last year it happened, $1.2 billion to finance the research institutions on emerging technologies, high tech, particularly in green technologies. That's much smaller than multiple $100 billion announced China a decade ago, but at least we started, this thing. Probably the institutions, research institutions, and the management institutions should, take advantage of that fund, but it should grow. The other thing is about what we are doing. These are the major research institutions in technology. Those are usual one. The IITs, the Indian Institute of Science, the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, the Energy and Research Institute, and ISRO. Those are leading institutions in our clean energy and technology goals. But I have given on the right side a comparative analysis of India, USA, EU, and China. You see that where we are good at renewable energy deployment and have started picking up a manufacturing scale, but we are lagging behind in frontier innovation, in battery ecosystem, in the hydrogen technology, in the AI and energy integrations. These are the weak areas. I had a very short debate with the co-chairs. Here comes the education. To my assessment, we have not understood what is lagging behind lagging in our education system. We create millions of the engineers, but mostly textbook engineers. Skill is another area. It should have been integrated at the primary and secondary level. It is missing. And Professor Ravi is complaining that the plumbers, the electricians are not good enough. But how could you have not trained them? You have not integrated into school education. So if the plumbers, if the solar technicians are not good enough, if the education system, which has not created, if you go to, if you analyze the South Korea model, 98% of the workforce is skilled or high skilled. Ours was 2 to 3%, and those are all people who are school dropouts or illiterate, who can't do anything. They are skilled. And we want to, as an innovative and manufacturing, country, we have to emulate certain things. If not 90-80%, at least 50% of our labor force should be skilled and high skilled. But unfortunately, that's not integrated into our education system. We still think that the skilled work like plumber, electricity, etc., are for the lower people, school dropouts who can't study, who can't score. But actually, I feel that these the high-tech degrees or all the institutions are useless if are not supported with right skill, technical skills, and innovative abilities. By the time we pass our 10th, we are all very good learning machines. A lot of information. Probably nobody in the world can match the kind of information, but most of them are useless. And for our own living, for our finding simple solutions or simple problems, we have bigger problem with your bureaucracy. I won't discuss that. I come from that family. And we have a whole lot of rot in the system which need to be addressed. We'll be discussing in the coming session privately what need to be done. Probably this is a greening agriculture. I won't debate on that because lot much is known to what are the problems, what we are doing. Some are we are all started implementing, and future lot to be done. Again, we educated people didn't come to agriculture. Now we see that top management people are coming to the agriculture field. I had a IIM Bangalore graduate, now fully into the advanced agriculture. Probably the things are changing, and our agriculture will be advancing. This is an area we have a separate session for that. I won't be spending on that. Since I come from Africa, I had a short term, about 1.5 years. I see a great opportunity in partnership with Africa. But whatever we learning from the global north, the technologies and what are implementing, we can give a very cost-effective, scalable, implementable technology and south with the share with the Africa and the larger global south. At the moment, many of the engineering management, EMCs, Indian EMCs are doing very good in Africa. And Africa is a $3 trillion economy, and it is forecast to at least grow up to $13 trillion economy in the next 20 years. And we are aspiring for a 25 to $30 trillion economy in the next 25 years. So we have a lot of opportunities to share our whatever we learn through this green technology, clean technology, to share with the Africa. We make a lot of money. We help create new businesses and help Africa also grow cleaner and greener, because Africa is a very, very resourceful country. Abundance of sunshine, abundance of water from many part of Africa, and also the rare earth minerals, and including the other minerals. So yes, this is the topic I am concerned. The strategic guidelines and why is issued the IIM Visakhapatnam should be leading this. Professor Amit told about Scooty, Scooty and its hard on, etc. But it comes to, if I come from Sierra Leone, the same, the Indian two-wheelers, they have made beautiful, canopy on that two-wheelers, and a pillion rider to from the monsoon. These are so locally, and they are using it for taxis. The girls and boys do it for taxis and with Indian two-wheelers. So our two-wheeler can be of a solar, solarized, compartment which can protect sun, which can generate electricity, we can give certain kind of comfort. Probably, and this could create a, so this kind of innovation we need. All problems actually would be opportunity if we have innovative minds to do that. The problem is that we have not created that ecosystem to innovative solutions to problems. Any problem would create, have a multi-billion-dollar business. And in India, it is easily possible. China has done that. And in the last 20, 25 years, we have created some 267 billionaires out of nothing. Those models are not. But the challenge we are seeing actually be converted to multi-billionaire opportunities if we think innovatively, think rationally, and come out of the with the solutions. Probably this debate today we are doing today would aggregate the leading minds from the technology, from the administration, from the businesses, from the finances, to come with innovative model. I think Andhra, it could be a leader. 25 years of the dot-com took the Andhrites hundreds of thousands to US and Europe, and they are well entrenched in academic leading universities, in business institutions, and some of the Andhrites create $1 trillion money for the American or other companies. But why can't? But if we are not able to do that here, because we lack that ecosystem. That ecosystem has to be created here, and probably I am Visakhapatnam could lead on that. With that, I conclude my speech here. And once again, I thank all the co-chairs for coming with a very topical, very emerging, it's a very important debate conclave we're doing today and tomorrow. And I wish very engaging discussions over the 2 days, and not just having a publishing paper. Probably you all, bringing all this, what is lacking in the ecosystem. You need to create an ecosystem to capitalize on the, what is the, we say that disadvantage, the heat wave or flood, etc., to successful business place. Thank you so much for having me here.
So means you can sense the energy, you can sense the excitement being someone who is a career diplomat. And I think, sir, we are sorry that we could not give you enough time. I think you have much more to discuss and talk because you have seen through all across the globe from north to south, east to west. But I could just summarize, I think, what two key points that you actually mentioned, which is actually stuck to my mind, is that we are going through a lot of opportunities, changes on the technology front. But where is the space where we have to actually set that? And where we can set that on the two front. One is the north and south, which is a global north and global south, and global south and south. And then also when we go into global south, we also talk about the marginal section of that global south. I think that's the something where it can bring the balance with this whole discussion and everything that you said. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. In this, I would request Professor Kaveri Krishnan to just hand over, a sense of gratitude as a memento from I am Visakhapatnam to you. So, yeah. So, but before we leave for group photo, one more thing which is, culture like the conference proceedings. So I'll request again, sir, one more. Means like a long talk, but one more small request. Just pass it. So just unveil the proceedings for this conclave. Yeah, just unwrap. There are two aspects of this. So the same conclave proceedings will be available on the website e-copy. This is what the respective individual will take to their centers, and we'll keep it one for our library for the access. So that's all here. But before that, we leave from here. I also want to thank to conduct this inaugural session and everything that is put. So I also want to extend to program chair committee members, which includes Professor Vijay Paidi, who has come from all the way from Europe. It also includes Professor Vijay Shekhar Chalabanu, who is going to be there in one of the panel discussion. And along with that, program chair committees that involves Professor Monica Singhania from University of Delhi, and Professor here, Kalyan, Professor Vishal Singh Patel from the Visakhapatnam, who had also been part of the program committee, who have kind of gone through the reviewing the papers, suggesting some ideas, so there's a whole list of professors who have been part of that. Along with that, the PhD students, IT and admin staff, project staff, to put this whole show here. So we have actually another session, so I'm just rushing through. I have list of those names which I want to thank. So now from here, we'll proceed for a group photo, and then we'll have a tea, and then the first plenary session will happen. So what I request that the individual, those who are taking plenary session, please drop message to them. The session is going to start late because the first session is actually online session. We have 3 plenary sessions. One is online, one is a complete offline, and one is offline and online. So like we are trying to maintain all possible way to practice the sustainability also at the same time. So thank you all being here. Let's join for the photograph and high tea.